Fringe Fanatics with Chad Lee and Chris Zane.
And we are back. This is Fringe Fanatics. I am Chris Zane.
And I'm Chad Lee. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it greatly. And each and every week that you tune in, we just love you guys a little bit more. So if you can do us a favor, please tell a friend about the show. It really helps. Word of mouth is the best advertisement still to this day. So yes, tell a friend if you can. And as always, follow us on Fringe Fanatics social media at Fringe_Fanatics. And if you can, please go subscribe to our Spotify and all of those podcasting things where you listen to podcasts. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That helps us immensely. Chad Lee, how are you doing this week?
I'm good. I do want to include one thing, though, because we've had it happen a few times where obviously we share a lot of different media, sports stuff on our social media, funny videos or whatever. We've had people send us stuff and we'll repost it. And if you guys feel like you come across something really good, send it our way. We'll post it. We'll tag you in it. You know, we'll give you credit for it and everything.
We love to spread the love. So if you send us anything, we had one of my buddies that has another podcast send us some stuff, the Knee Circles podcast.
Yeah.
We'll shout them out right now. Go check out Knee Circles podcast on Spotify. They sent us some stuff, and, you know, we posted it right away because I'm like, oh, it's fucking great content right there. Good content. And you know what that does? Makes our lives a little bit easier. Yep. So we'll always take a little bit easier.
Rising waters.
Indeed. Yes, rising waters. I don't know what the rest of that saying is.
Lifts all boats.
Oh, see? Look at that. Chad with the win.
Confucius.
But yes, man. Back to it. How was your week?
It was a pretty chill weekend, man. As you know, I had a bachelor kind of weekend where she was back home visiting family, so me and the dogs just hung out. I had a lot of stuff done around the house and shit. So
you watch a lot of basketball.
I did watch a lot of basketball. Yeah. Started watching a little bit of that McGregor docu series, and then watched a lot of Star Wars Rebels.
Nice.
I really nerded out a lot.
That's the other
animation show.
Yeah. Okay, for sure.
It's very kiddie. There's some times that when I first started watching it, that there's this like kind of creature in it that kind of looks like a dog. I mean, it's kind of a kiddie show. Yeah. But I'm getting ready for Ahsoka when it comes out in June because it's everything in.
And that's the live action one.
It is, yeah. Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
So, Hannah comes out of the bath. She sees me watching this, and the first thing she goes is, "Are you watching Paw Patrol?" It's like she burns me pretty good sometimes. She does, but like no,
you gotta burn the ones you love.
That's how you know you love them. That's right. But I'm like, no, I'm just getting educated on Star Wars. That's all.
Yeah. We actually started watching the Clone Wars.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's really amazing how big the universe is.
How fucking many episodes there were.
There's a lot.
There's a lot of episodes.
Good
There's
thing
like 9 seasons.
Yeah, they're only like 20 minutes, so that's cool.
Yeah, definitely. But it seems pretty cool so far. But yeah, because we realized there was like what you're watching, Rebel, whatever. Yeah, it's just so many Star Wars shit.
There's so much, man. I mean, it's nuts because I always thought like, oh, there's too much. But then when I'm done with this, I'm not gonna have any Star Wars content until
you're just gonna
August.
Be waiting like an asshole.
Or I could start listening to the books.
Oh.
Yeah, or reading them, but I'll definitely listen probably. But we'll see. I love it, man. It's cool shit.
Yeah, it's always good.
Full on nerd. What about you? How was your weekend?
My weekend was busy. I did not get to watch as much basketball as I would have liked because we were recording. So.
That's badass, man.
Yeah, we recorded at World Famous Studios with Pete DeBoer. I'm pretty sure that's how you say his last name. But it was a really good time. Fucking awesome. I definitely got the yips for the first time recording vocals, so that was pretty fun trying to work through that, but we made it, and it sounds fucking awesome.
Ever gonna hear any of those takes or any of those recorded?
No, probably not. I think they're already thrown away for all we know, but that takes up a lot of space, man. It's memory. Something we've been dealing with this computer right here, so
right. Yeah, I give you mad respect for going in there and trying to do that, man. That's just singing in general. I don't like singing just when I'm alone, so yeah. That's cool.
I enjoy it, but it was definitely stressful. But yeah, we were there for like 10 hours Saturday, 10 hours Sunday, and then so I missed the Nuggets game Saturday night. I was like watching it while I was recording my guitar parts, and then Sunday we were going through the songs and stuff. So I wasn't watching the Heat Celtics, so
Yeah.
you're gonna have to fill us in on that one. I did go back and watch the Nuggets though Sunday morning
That's
before I
good.
went to go record.
It was
so
definitely worth the watch.
good fucking game, which we're gonna get to them here. I guess right now we could, because that's pretty much all I did this weekend, and worked a little bit last week. So that wraps it up for me. But we do need to talk about those Nuggets because
we're gonna really get into it. And you know what? We have this shot poured.
we have a shot right here.
We also need to get out something else.
I think we'll grab this right here.
Right here for the Lakers.
Because I think that's a little bit of a
Sweep.
sweep right there. Yeah.
Oh, sweep them
Yeah.
under the
Swept 'em.
rug.
Yeah.
Swept them out of the playoffs. That's right.
So on that note, the Nuggets sweep.
for the first time in franchise history.
First franchise sweep. First time to the finals in franchise history. 47 years of existence.
Amazing. And first time LeBron has been swept outside of the finals.
Yeah, and I did notice that I saw a thing today where they put LeBron and MJ, and LeBron's been swept in conference, in series 3 times.
Yeah.
And MJ none.
None.
Yeah.
You know, he never even went to a game 7. That's
Yeah,
one of the
'cause
strongest
he's a
arguments.
baller.
He's the GOAT, one and only GOAT.
Yes, and that's been proven. And Jokic is the next GOAT. So
That's true.
Here's to the Nuggets, Western Conference champions. They didn't even care about it. They're just like, let's go on to the next one. They partied a little bit, but they
Yeah.
acted all business.
Another 4 games. That's what
4
they're
more
saying.
wins, man.
Hey, what's Malone always say in the locker room? Family.
Family on
Family.
3. 1, 2, 3, family.
Family. That's right.
And that goes out to all of our listeners. You guys are our family. So 1, 2, 3, family.
Family.
Cheers to you
Very
guys.
true. Cheers, guys.
Good
Good old J-Mo. Always reliable.
J-Mo.
But, dude, I
J-Mo.
want to say this real quick. I didn't really bring this up before we started recording. I'm going to spring this on you. But I
Oh,
want
you
to
rascal.
thank you for welcoming me to Nuggets Nation.
Oh, you're welcome. dude.
Because I'd be remiss if I don't mention the fact that, like, you know, this has got to be so much bigger for you because you've been following the Nuggets for
Pretty much my whole life.
8 years old. I mean, how?
Yeah,
what's the
probably when I
earliest
started.
memory?
I probably went to games when I was like 6 years old.
Jesus, dude! Wow.
So yeah, going on 30 years of Nuggets fandom. I was watching at a bar downtown in 2009 when Kobe just ripped the hearts out of the Nuggets, Game 7. So yeah, I mean, I've been there for a lot of not good times.
Been there through some ups and downs, man.
Definitely, yeah. So this has been fun because basically now every game is the biggest game for Nuggets history, like
It
in Nuggets
truly is,
history.
man. Yeah, that's
So-
why last night was so much fun because it's nuts when you get to watch a franchise reach its height. You know, never before have they gone this
And you
far.
pretty much came in at the perfect time because it was during those years. I think Carmelo was he still here?
It was about 5 or 6
it was
years
when-
ago. It was right about the time Jokic started.
Yeah,
and
like
every
with
now and then,
Danilo and people are still kind of hanging on. I think Danilo Gallinari, those guys.
I don't remember him too much. I mean, I know who he
Yeah.
is now, but
I'm trying to think about
you would
it.
send me highlights. You're like, dude, you got to check this guy Jokic out, man. His passing is insane.
Yeah.
And so I started checking it out, and I came to the realization. Because what I had always told you, I was like, dude, Kansas City doesn't have a team. I follow players, and I respect that player because I was a big KD fan.
Yeah.
I liked him on the Thunder. I liked him out of Texas, and you know, and that's just it. It's like in the NBA, these players would change teams so much. I really didn't feel committed to a team.
Yeah.
And then I started watching Jokic, and he was such a humble guy. He wasn't flashy. And, I mean, the rest is history. I just started really getting into it. And then now I watched probably 80 out of the 82 games this year. I mean,
if I didn't watch it, I was listening to some of it,
Yep.
if not half of it.
and if I missed it, I watched the highlights. And so I just feel so grateful to come through there. And even after a year of my team winning the Super Bowl, now I join this like Nuggets Nation after the last 5 or 6 years. And just had to slide that in there.
Yeah.
And now this team, it goes to the
Dude,
conference
think about
finals.
being the Kroenke family. I think Manchester did really well this year.
I'm pretty sure they just won the final last
So
weekend.
they won that.
Yep.
They won the Stanley Cup last year. The Rams won 2 years ago. They've basically won. Oh, and then the Rapids won 2 years ago as well. Or last year. The Rapids won last year.
And then the Mammoth are in the championship.
The
And I don't know,
Mammoth are
dude,
one of the
they
best.
They don't own the Mammoth, do
Yeah,
they?
they do.
What, do they own everything?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's
He
insane.
basically owns one of every sports team.
Yeah,
He probably even owns a professional pickleball team for all I know. I'm not sure.
It's up and coming, I guess. That's crazy. Yeah, but the Mammoth, the professional lacrosse Colorado team, is in the finals as well.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've ever been to a Mammoth game, but they're pretty fucking fun. It's like a raucous party. Yeah. I mean, if you've been to Nuggets games are like it's like the fucking music's pumping the whole time.
Yeah.
Shit's going. Yeah,
shit, man.
That's how the Mammoth game is, but like times 10. They get like way crazier.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I've tried watching a little bit of lacrosse. Just can't. Yeah, we'll bring up lacrosse here in a little bit though once we get into these headlines.
Yeah.
Let me kick off the headlines though.
Yeah,
with,
go for it.
Major League Baseball. I just thought we should give an update on the top 3 teams in each league.
Okay.
So just to run through this real quick, American League, the Tampa Bay Rays are still killing it, sitting at 35-14. The Baltimore Orioles 31-16. The Texas Rangers, surprisingly, can't believe it, 29-18, third best team in the American League. Then we move over to the National League. My Atlanta Braves. I do have 2 teams in the majors. I can do that.
Yeah, you
can't
can.
tell me not. They're sitting at 29-17. But they did just play the Dodgers last night, who's 29-19, and the Dodgers beat them, so they're in a series with them. So whoever comes out of that best of 3 will probably take the lead for National League. And then in third, surprisingly again, is the Arizona Diamondbacks, who have been atrocious the last like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, they have not been very good. They've been in the doldrums with the Colorado Rockies a lot down there in the bottom of the National
With
League.
The Royals,
so
too.
yeah.
But then the other news is just the other team that's up and coming in that American League are the Astros. They are on an 8-game winning streak. They started off pretty shitty, but they're starting to come on.
They're probably cheating again.
I wouldn't doubt. How's it, Jose Altuve?
Yeah, definitely. Well, what should we move into next? You want to go into NFL real quick?
Let's cover golf real quick. It'll just take a second, and then we'll get into the NFL. Brooks Koepka will provide a highlight pretty soon.
Yeah,
but
I gotta cut it.
Did go Nostradamus on this shit and predicted Brooks Koepka to win the PGA Championship.
Yeah, you definitely called it, and I was definitely surprised that he pulled it off. And this does open up, a Pandora's box of the Live Golf PGA Tour thing, because he's the first now Live golfer to win a PGA championship, win a major.
Yeah.
He wins the PGA championship at Oak Hill. Like I said, first golfer to win a major, shot a final round 67 and wins by 2 strokes over Scotty Scheffler and Victor Hovland. The big thing is, though, like, they've always been saying, like, all these Live golfers, they're playing less golf, they're making all this money, they're not going to be able to compete in the PGA. And now for like the last 2 majors, I think we've had on the final round going into Sunday, we've had Live golfers in the top 5, if not for sure the top 10
in the
on
top
multiple
10,
occasions.
Yeah. Bryson DeChambeau did well.
Yeah,
it's something that you got to really take into consideration, because I can't remember which one of these guys said it, but because of the money and stuff, they don't have as much stress. They're just, they don't have to worry so much about like where that next check's coming and have as much on their shoulders. And then the other thing is like what you mentioned. In Live, you only have to golf 36 holes.
Yep.
I've got that wrong. 54.
54 holes.
It's 3 rounds.
Yeah, it's not 72. It's 54.
I can't do math, but
it's okay. That's why we talk on this thing that we created, because
we figured out.
We figured out that this might be all we're good at.
So I mean, you got to think like that's less wear and tear on their body. I mean, we saw in the Masters, Phil Mickelson golf a masterful Sunday 65 at Augusta.
Yeah,
this is a man that's like kind of getting up there in age.
I think he's 57, I think. I can't remember. He's like in his 50s.
Yeah, well into his 50s, and golfing still pretty damn well. And he had lost some weight. He was doing good. And then you look at Brooks, who was right there in the Masters. And this is one thing I want to mention is they said it on Sunday that he had said in an interview in the Masters, because he was right there at 2 and 3 heading into that final round in Augusta. He said he choked. It's just there was no way around it. It was pretty admirable for him just to admit that. And then you look at what he did in the PGA Championship. He really had 2 guys up at his knees clipping, Hovland and Scheffler. It still kept true.
Yeah. Like I said, he won 2 strokes over those guys. We'll have to get Adam on and talk to him about this one, because I just want to hear his thoughts on what this is going to do for the PGA and the live golf argument from somebody who really is like deep in it. You know what I mean?
I feel like such a casual when I talk about it. He's in Boston right now. I wonder if he's going to be staying there for if this series does go back to Boston, but we'll have to see.
Is that what he's out there for?
I don't know. I didn't ask, but oh no, he did tell me it's like a college reunion, I think.
Oh,
yep,
cool.
So that's cool.
Gotta get them reunions in.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, you want to start with the NFL?
Yeah, I'll get into the NFL. NFL owners approve Thursday night flexes. It passes with 24 votes, which is the minimum number of votes needed to approve any of these new things that are happening in the NFL. It will be in effect this season on a trial basis. Even if no games are flex, it's still going to carry into next season. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. I just think this is, for one, just logistically, I don't know how this is going to work. How are you going to deal with all these people who bought tickets for a game on Sunday or Monday night? I don't know if they're going to flex. I'm pretty sure it's only Sunday games that this is really going to be in effect for.
Oh, I would imagine.
But
so.
How are you going to move? For one, tell a team, yeah, you're supposed to play on Sunday. Now you're playing on Thursday. Like, I'm not really sure how that's going to work.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be the same way whenever towards the end of the season teams get flexed to Sunday night.
Yeah, but that's usually like you're playing at 11 o'clock and now you're playing Sunday night football. It's
true.
Not you're moving 3 days before. You know what I mean?
People book flights. They book hotels and everything. I'm not a big fan of it. We'll have to see. But the argument to that is, if you are Amazon and you paid $1.2 billion or whatever it was for these rights, you're going to want those,
more than that. But yeah.
You're going to want those juicy games.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think now and that's one thing we've been talking about for a while now, is with the entire league getting better. I think we might have less of those, Jaguars versus fucking whoever else. It used to be Titans back in the day when they would have those Thursday night matches between just like, it was like always the AFC South, and like
it's always shitty teams. And so that's one way that I can kind of like get behind it, because it's Thursday, it's during the work week, you want a good game, and then so many times there's shitty games. So it would be
Mark
nice
Davis actually brought up a good point, and I was surprised because
he voted against it. Didn't he?
He did, and somebody with a haircut like he had for so many years to have valid points is a long
kind of
shot.
Surprising.
But he came out and said, he's like, we moved from Oakland. We still have. He didn't say this is not verbatim, but it's basically what he's implying. We have fans that are traveling here from LA. So if we have a game on Sunday, people have booked all these flights, bought tickets, got all this other shit for Vegas. Friday we're gonna go see whoever's doing whatever in Vegas. I don't know, Cirque du Soleil, or I was gonna say Siegfried and Roy.
Adele,
Siegfried and Roy's no more.
No.
Adele, yeah, that's what I'm
she's
saying.
Really big there right now.
So like you have all these people, like they're booking like a whole fucking weekend of like, we're gonna do this Friday night, we're gonna do this Saturday night, Sunday we're gonna go watch the fucking Raiders play whoever, and then they're like, oh yeah, that's gonna be on Thursday night now, and you're just like, what the fuck? So I don't know. I get it. It's supposed to make the product better, and the NFL's a juggernaut as is. I mean, we're getting to the point that it's so big that the only place for it to go is outside of the U.S., so we're already moving towards international stuff. Shit's going to get weird.
5 international games this year, man. It used to be maybe like 1 or 2. And
imagine when they might make a division out there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way it makes it work, is to have a division where you could have those teams playing each other and then flying out and people flying in. Otherwise it's not fucking feasible.
I never thought it could work until they did this thing with the Jags staying there twice this year for 2 weeks, and I'm like, well, but jet lag is so real. I mean, they're having to fly like a 8 or 10 hour flight.
Oh, I think that's why they were doing the 2 weeks thing. If they're like, all right, you're basically our pseudo London team,
right? Yeah.
So you're gonna go do 2 games, and rather than have you fly back and forth for them, you're just going to fucking stay out there. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I mean, obviously, you're going to talk about another change coming up. The NFL is trying to get better, trying to bring more people in, and I get it, but I just have questions about how this one's going to work. So
yeah. Oh, the other one I don't think we talked about before the podcast was the third QB proposal.
Oh, I meant to bring that up, but I think that is a really good thing that they can now carry, what is it?
So it won't take a roster spot.
I thought it's still kind of.
But it's basically an
emergency.
you get
48,
QB.
Right?
No, you get 53.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's
but
right.
It's basically like an invisible player where it doesn't count.
Well, they're
towards
doing
the
this
53.
because of San Francisco.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean,
Because they don't want that to happen
That
again.
was awful. Well, that, and then, I mean, you think about, you guys had fucking Kendall Hinton throwing passes for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they also fucked up, and 2 of our quarterbacks got in trouble for violating the COVID things by
Yeah.
taking their fucking bracelets off. So that was kind of like a fuck you to the Broncos.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
true.
a little bit different. But again, yeah, we did have a wide receiver playing quarterback.
Yeah.
Although he didn't start, technically, Philip Lindsay was the starting quarterback as he
That is
ran the
crazy.
first play in Wildcats. So.
Oh, I see. But it's
yeah.
just like, yeah, I mean, the 49ers playoff game was just awful when you see, they only had like 2 quarterbacks back there, Josh Johnson, and then Purdy got hurt. So it's just, you never want to see that, that I don't see what's wrong with it.
Well, it makes the game like a shit can happen. I mean, we've seen it happen clearly.
So many
this
times.
last year was a point. The COVID year was also a good point, but I just always thought it was stupid. I think it's kind of weird that they have these guys show up and not dress. I think anybody who's there who's a player should dress.
Yeah.
Because what are you going to do? You never fucking know.
Yeah.
You could already be thin guys. I mean, at one point, the Broncos, I think in the Fangio year, were almost out of cornerbacks.
Oh,
They
wow.
barely had enough cornerbacks to field like a nickel package. You know
Oh,
what
yeah.
I mean?
No,
So-
I agree. Like you just never know. I mean, if it wasn't for being able to start 3 and even have 3 quarterbacks on the sideline, Willie Beeman would have never gotten a shot.
That's very true.
Yeah, you
Don't
gotta
you
think
ever
about
forget about Willie Beeman.
Yeah, you got to fight for every inch. Speaking of Jim Brown, speaking of Jim
any
Brown,
given Sunday. Oh, let's get into
Yeah.
that. By the way,
he
take
was
us
a
into
big
this
part
sad.
of that movie.
Oh, I forgot he was.
Yeah, he
in
was
that
like
movie.
the defensive coordinator, I think, or linebackers coach or something.
Was he really? Oh
yeah,
shit,
yeah.
dude! I watched that movie a bunch when it came out, but I haven't probably seen it in 15 years. Maybe
It's an awesome movie.
it is a really good movie.
Yeah, I
Speaking
think-
of which, Jamie Foxx just had a stroke, and I haven't heard anything about it. And you know what that makes me feel like? It makes me feel like it's not good. Kind of makes me feel like maybe he's having to like learn how to talk again or something. I mean, I don't want to speak on
I'm pretty
somebody's
scared.
health stuff.
I could have sworn I
but-
heard something about Jamie Foxx, and then I tried to look into it and I couldn't find anything.
He had a stroke on set, I guess.
Oh,
Like
fuck,
while they were
man.
filming. I don't know. Maybe it was while they were filming, but it was on set.
That's
so.
nuts too, because he has this movie coming out here pretty soon. Have you seen the
one with
trailer?
Will Ferrell?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks hilarious.
It does
man.
look hilarious. It reminds me of Homeward Bound.
yeah, but
Remember that
like
movie?
rated R.
Yeah, but like rated R.
yeah, that was a classic.
There was
movie.
Otis and something.
Milo.
Yeah, Otis Milo.
yeah.
Sad movies.
Yep. Yeah,
Those ones will
definitely.
make you cry.
Speaking of that, Jim Brown passes
Yeah,
away.
speaking
man.
of crying.
Very controversial figure. He was very involved with trying to stop gang violence.
Social activism.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm big in that.
But he did have some bad things on his record and some things that followed around, which is like abuse to women and just stuff you shouldn't do, He had a lot of trouble with that.
Yeah. I mean, he basically told them at one point, because they wanted him, he was filming The Dirty Dozen, I believe. My dad actually told me this. Shout out to my dad. I hope it's true, because I have no way of validating it right now. But I guess he was filming The Dirty Dozen, and they wanted him to come back for training camp, and he's just like, nah, I think I'm just going to keep doing movies.
Yeah, I did hear about this.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I think they talked about that on this podcast I was listening to. It's like, damn, that's nuts. Like, he just decided to do movies because
Yeah.
I think his career, he stopped after like 8 years.
Yeah.
And he's
basically the greatest running back ever.
No doubt. He averaged over 5 yards a carry, led the league in rushing every year but one.
Which is nuts.
So many
You're
of
lucky
his stats.
if your guy on your team gets 1 year. You know what I mean?
But just 1 year is amazing.
Yeah.
He really is considered possibly the greatest football athlete in history. In the beginning of his career, they played 12 games, and then I think in the last 2 or 3, they extended it to 14 games. Well, in the 12-game year, he had over 1,500 yards from scrimmage, and then once they extended it to 14 games, he had a season where he had 1,500 yards.
It's crazy.
If anybody hasn't ever seen Jim Brown, I don't know if they're just real casual fans out there. Just YouTube Jim Brown highlights, and it's literally like watching a man play Pee Wee football.
Yeah, the only other thing I could think of that was comparable, except for that he was robbed of a long career, was Bo Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Bo Jackson was one of those
Yep.
people that you watch him like just fucking running people over. If
So
you watch some of
fast.
his baseball highlights, it's mind blowing.
It's
The dude
insane.
had a rocket arm,
Damn right.
fast as hell.
On the Royals.
On the Royals, I watched
Yep.
him throw a dude out from right field to third base.
Yeah.
That is a insane throw,
His
and he hit it.
quads were like this big.
I want to say it was like one bounce. It was like a one hopper from right
yeah.
field. That is nuts. I threw a kid out right field the first one time,
Nice.
because he was jogging. I knew, I was like, his kid jogged last time. If he hits it to me, I'm gonna rocket it in.
Sniping him.
Fucking got him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. Jim Brown is definitely one of those people that's just quintessential figure. Like you said, a little bit of a shady past.
Yeah.
But
It
towards
wasn't
the end of his
perfect.
life, he
Wasn't
did
perfect.
do a lot of things, like you spoke about, social activism, gang violence.
Well, and apparently he was, I think, the president or the leader somehow, I'm not sure the official title, of retired NFL players, and he got a settlement suit done with the NFL to where I think they were awarded, I want to say, like, $60 million or something.
yeah, that
extravagant.
happened a couple years ago,
Yeah,
if I'm not
it
mistaken.
was-
and
I
a
wanna
lot
say
of
it was
guys are really stoked about it, because
Yeah.
a lot of those guys that it affected are those guys who played in the 80s and the
Yeah.
70s who are just, riddled with injuries, and they never got paid like some of these guys in the 90s.
Nope.
Even the guys in the 90s, dude, when you look at the salaries back then, you're like, I can't believe you played football for that.
Oh, nuts, man. Yeah, basketball players and stuff, too, when they look at that, they're like, you guys are spoiled.
Oh,
now.
speaking of something, dude, in the studio, like I sent you that picture that he had the TV there.
Yeah.
Well, during the day, he just put sports on. I guess he's really into racing.
Nice.
I thought maybe we can have him on and talk about NASCAR sometime,
Oh,
because he
that'd be
seemed
cool.
like he's super into it. And aside from my brother Shannon, I don't really know anybody who can talk about NASCAR in depth.
Yeah.
But he seemed like he was super on point with stuff. So maybe we'll talk to him about that.
Yeah,
But
that'd be cool.
we were watching the USFL.
Like, football?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because remember when COVID happened? Right when it happened, the USFL and the XFL were going strong. And the USFL was like looking like it might outlast the XFL.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened, and it fucking killed the
Yeah, it
USFL.
just-
The
yeah.
XFL had already ended. USFL was trying to finish.
Yeah.
And I think they didn't even finish the season.
couldn't,
And
no.
then they just quit existing.
Yeah.
Well, they're back. And we were watching it, and I was like, dude, I think they all play at Detroit and Ford Field. I'm not entirely sure. Because we might have talked about this, but the XFL, they all stay in some city in Texas. Every team.
Oh, okay.
They all live there. They all practice there, and then they fly out to the cities to play the games.
Oh.
So they all live in one area.
Yeah.
And so I was wondering, I was like, maybe they're doing that with the USFL, but we're looking at what some of these guys make, dude. If you make it all the way to the championship and win, you will make $60,000
Wow. Like a year or
for the whole season.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's
And during the fucking the training camp, $600 a week.
oh shit, man.
Like, dude,
Those
you
guys
gotta really fucking want
There's
it.
people at McDonald's making
Yeah.
more than that.
Dude, seriously.
That's fucking crazy.
And you're playing fucking football, risking injury
Yeah,
to hope to
injury.
God you might make it to the XFL. I
Probably
don't know.
getting hurt and there's not insurance
Yeah.
to cover you maybe. Or
And then I did see the XFL, and then we'll move on, because I think that's about it for no, we have one more thing in the NBA.
well, the kickoff rule too. We got to talk about.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
We've been going on this rabbit hole for a bit. I thought we already talked about that.
No, you're good.
So, yeah, we got the kickoff rule, but the XFL is having their first draft, and they're doing it with the undrafted college kids, which I think is really cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I think the XFL is going to outlast the USFL, because they're
Yeah.
doing way more to tie into the NFL. To basically be like, we are, like, whether or not you're going to accept us,
Yep.
we are your fucking developmental league.
Well, they really are too, because that's a perfect segue into this next topic where they adopted this rule. Where,
I didn't realize this was one of the XFL rules.
Actually, no, I take that back. It was the third QB. That's what they
Oh.
do. That's what they do. But the kickoff rule, they might even implement that one, because they got a good one where I think they can opt to take the ball at like the 20 or 25 or something instead of a kickoff.
Yeah, and basically the kickers get penalized. If you kick it into the end zone, they get it on like the 35. But if you kick it in between the 20 and the 10, or the 20 and the end zone, maybe, then if they catch it, they can run it, or it just goes out to the 25 if they fair catch it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. But
That's
either
pretty
way.
interesting. But I could see him, and The Rock was on ESPN a couple of weeks ago talking about it because the championship was coming up. And I thought it was really cool that he was bringing it up just because, he played at Miami and he was on a national championship team, but he never got to play and even went to the draft but didn't get drafted.
Yeah, he kind of said that's why he wanted to try and resurrect this, to give guys like him a chance.
I thought that was a pretty good reason to do it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, everything behind the XFL, and that's why I think it's going to succeed, is towards just finding a way to get other guys into the NFL. And I think what's going to happen too, because here's the thing, man. So we were talking about this just a little bit, and then we'll move on. But the NFL is already talking about expanding. We have a hard enough time finding capable 32 starters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just for the NFL teams we have now. So they're going to have to start finding other guys.
Oh, yeah.
So I think this is just working towards doing that, because eventually they're going to have to fill out at least probably 4 more teams.
I would say so. Yeah, probably in the next 6 or 8 years, I think we'd probably see 4.
I think in 6 or 8 years we'll at least see 2 for sure.
Yeah.
Overseas. So
probably overseas, yeah.
Or maybe down south of the border. You could see a Mexico team that can just practice in L.A. and just fly to Mexico every week.
That could be
hour flight.
Yeah. That's another altitude game if they play in Mexico City or
that's
something.
True, though. You might not want to practice in L.A. and then go fly to 7,000 feet.
I think they're 12,000 in Mexico. Maybe it's 7,000.
I think it's 7,000.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because we're like one of the higher
it's the
elevations.
highest mountain or at the top of Mexico City that gets 12,000.
But no, we don't know much about geography either. But hey,
we don't.
So talk about the new kicking rule, because I did not know this happened today.
Yeah, this happened today where the owners approved a new kickoff rule. It's pretty groundbreaking because this is very new, where on the kickoff, if the returner wants to fair catch it, it will get placed on the 25 no matter where he fair catches the ball. So if he fair catches it on the 5-yard line, it'll be at the 25.
I mean, I guess I get it, because it is making people more likely to return the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, or it makes you less, well, I don't know.
No, I think it's
I guess it's going to make it more likely for returns. No.
I think it's going to make it where
I don't know
everybody
what's
starts
gonna
at the 25 most times, because you want that touchback.
We've already talked about that happening. The kickoffs are fucking stupid anyways.
Yeah. I think this is what I was going to say, is I think this is the last iteration of the kickoff. We've seen it changed multiple times over the last 10 years, because if casual fans don't know out there, almost half of the concussions in the league come from kickoffs.
Yeah, and most of the time not even ball carriers. It's guys blocking, just laying people out.
They got rid of the wedge block a while back, but I think this is going to be the last iteration, and then it'll be obsolete, and then each time they start on their 25 or something. I'm sure that'll probably be the case. But, yeah, I'm pretty interested to see the way this is going to go, because you got to think, too, you see guys do punt return, they get the yips, and they drop it. That could be something too, where you got to fair catch it, but then you got to catch it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I was trying to get at is it's probably more likely to make guys want to fair catch it, or they're probably going to have special team coaches just saying, "Fucking fair catch it."
Yeah,
if it's within the 10, fair catch
That's
it.
That's what I'm saying.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like the reason the XFL made those changes to kickoffs was to make kickoffs, for one, more likely to happen, and 2, to eliminate the injuries. I feel like they're combating both things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see how it works.
I would be fine with them implementing the XFL one, because I feel like that was pretty exciting. I liked their rule.
Well, it's nice. It's just like it's almost like a punt, or it's like a little bit longer of a punt, because you're like 10 yards apart. The guys are,
Mm-hmm.
There was a few that got ran back this year in the XFL, so I just think it's still more exciting overall, rather than what happens more often than not in the NFL, which is a fair catch, and then that's it. And then, So I don't know.
I like to see run backs, so if there's any way they could keep that, I mean, I'm fine with that.
I just also feel bad, because eventually we're just going to start weeding out kickers. Like, are we even going to do extra points?
Oh, I bet no.
Are we just going to go to straight? You go from the 2 or the 10,
I think
and that's it. It's either going to be
because you get to it's a tie game with 10 seconds.
You go from the 2, it's 1. You go from the 5, it's 3. I don't know, 2.
They do have some crazy rules in the XFL like that, where you can get different things on the PAT.
Yeah. But we'll see. I don't know.
Yep, it's going to be a new year for sure.
Definitely. Lots of new things happening. So we got one more thing to talk about, which is the NBA.
Yep.
I'll take this one.
Go ahead.
Carmelo, who a lot of people will... I think if you're a smart fan in Denver, don't get me wrong, I'll still talk shit about how he left, but Carmelo Anthony and the Denver Nuggets put this team back on the map, dude. In 2009, when they made it to the conference finals and took it all the way to 7 games against Kobe, Pau Gasol, who else was on that team?
I'm sure Derek Fisher was, wasn't he?
I think Derek Fisher might have been. But yeah, against that team.
Big Shot Bob.
Yeah, against that team, they went all the way to 7 games. They lost. It was a heartbreaker. Ripped the hearts out of Nuggets fans. Carmelo stuck around for, I think, a year or 2 after that, and then he left. And that was just kind of like, we thought it was the end of our chances. But then little did we know, we get a bunch of guys from New York, Danilo Gallinari, a bunch of other guys. We get some picks, which one of those picks was Mr. Jamal Flurry Murray. No Bubble Murray. It's Flurry Murray now.
Flurry Murray's cool.
Jamal Flurry Murray was one of those picks. I think, had Jokic not been the greatest basketball player on the planet to ever touch a basketball as of right now, as LeBron's on his way out.
Yep.
I think in the league, he is the best basketball player. Jamal Murray would have won the NBA Finals MVP, or the Conference Finals MVP.
Finals.
Sorry.
I think you're right.
But nonetheless, it shaped this team, and little did we know, a few years later, they draft some random dude from Serbia in the second round during a Taco Bell quesarito commercial.
Yeah.
And now we might literally be watching, I said this, I think, last week, a top five player, if he can keep this up. I mean, the dude's only gotten, since he's gotten the MVP, his statistics have only gotten better.
Yeah, he just keeps getting better.
He got robbed this year of the MVP, and it doesn't matter, dude. He's going for that main one, the Finals MVP, which Embiid will probably never smell at this point with the way he plays and the way that team works. But yeah, it's crazy to think that this all started with Melo, and this guy plays 19 seasons in the NBA, the 9th leading scorer in NBA history. As he retires, that's going to probably change. He's probably going to end up in the top 15, top 20 here in another couple years. One of the 75 greatest of all-time NBA players, 10-time All-Star, scoring champion, 6-time All-NBA selection. Unfortunately, never made it to the finals, only made it to the conference finals with the Nuggets.
I think he did win 2 gold medals, maybe?
3.
Is it 3?
3 gold medals.
So I was going to say, he played really good in the Olympics.
Yeah, definitely. Really good in the Olympics. Again, that was like Dream Team 2.0, though.
Yeah.
It was like LeBron, Carmelo.
Well, it's when Kobe came to help him.
KG, like a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
They ended up winning 3 gold medals, and he was the most outstanding player in the Final Four for Syracuse. And
I remember that.
Yeah. So he came in at the same time as LeBron. LeBron obviously came out right out of high school. Carmelo went 1 year at Syracuse.
Yep.
But yeah, I think the timing of this release was kind of a way to, like, I don't know. It seems both weird and kind of like maybe he did it to like mend some bridges with Nuggets fans. But then at the same time, it also comes on a day when the Nuggets are winning their first time going to the conference finals, sweeping the Lakers, and then after the game you have LeBron come out and say, "Oh, I knew that was going to happen. I filmed that last week." Did you not see that?
That LeBron filmed? Or
LeBron's production company is the one that filmed Carmelo's retirement video.
Oh, really?
So he's like, I was there last week when they filmed it. He's like, I wasn't sure when it was going to come out, but I knew it was going to be this week. I just didn't know when.
Oh, that's bullshit.
And I'm just like, dude, I feel like maybe this was like a LeBron thing. Like, yo, release that on Game 4 to fuck with him. You know what I mean?
It's probably like trying to last desperation, anything to try to throw off the team.
Conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat, if you will. Put it on. We need to make a tinfoil hat. I'm going to do that soon. Just a goofy tinfoil hat for us to put on.
It on.
But
I mean, I
don't
could see
know.
it happening because why would it get released on the day the Nuggets are playing? It could have been any other day where they're not.
Could have been tomorrow.
Yeah, could have been today.
It could, yeah, I mean, it could have been any of the 9 days they're going to have off in between now and July or June 1st.
Yep.
When they start.
But the fact that, like, he did that, and, you know, I hear a lot, the big question is, which 15 will get retired?
Jokic.
You know, it'll be Jokic, because Carmelo forced his way out. I'm tired of hearing news stories, and believe me, I'm still new to this franchise and stuff, but I'm still watching a lot of basketball all growing up. Carmelo forced his way out of the Nuggets.
He did, and it wasn't handled the best by either side. And this was kind of a George Karl thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of talked about the JR thing. Unfortunately, I'm not going to listen to anything J.R. Smith says because that dude was a problem more oftentimes than he wasn't. And it is what it is. He's turned his life around. Dude's a fucking champion at this point. Can't say anything to him. But I don't know. There was issues between Karl and Carmelo. It just boiled over and it didn't end well. Some people blame Lala because Lala wanted to go to New York to be on MTV all the time. And, you know, MTV died. It is what it is. They only play reruns of the shows that they have.
Ridiculousness, no?
Ridiculousness TV. It's basically what it is. But, yeah, and that's why, I mean, I'm going to give him his flowers, dude. Without him, the Nuggets wouldn't be what they are today. He put them on the map. He brought them back. I mean, the last time I think they won a series the last time I think they made it to the finals was 94. The conference finals. I think it was when they beat Seattle.
The Nuggets?
Yeah.
That must have been Alex English or something, right?
No, it was Dikembe Mutombo. It might have been Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf time. Right around then.
Yeah.
But that was a long time ago. That was really before I was even paying attention to basketball. I remember that time.
Yeah.
I remember Mutombo falling on the ground like crying because they made it somewhere, you know, and then they ended up getting beat again, I think, by the Lakers, if I'm not mistaken.
Damn.
But yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I'm gonna give him his flowers right now. The dude fucking
deserves it.
He deserves it. He's a really good player. He thought going to the Knicks was the way to go, and it wasn't, unfortunately.
Nope, not at all.
A lot of players find that out.
Yeah.
Aside from Jalen Brunson, who's maybe found his home.
Yeah, they got a good coach there too.
They definitely do. But yeah, that wraps it up for the NBA. On that note, we are to the musical break, and we've got one more week of MF Ruckus.
Yeah, they jam, man. I like that last new song they came out with.
Oh, yeah, Insect Swarm. That one's a really good one. Yeah. The song we're going to play right now is called We Don't Party, which is kind of a play on the fact that they do party.
Yeah. Little misdirection there for you.
Yeah, throwing you a curveball. Much like on this show, we do party. We like to party. We like to have a good time. So check out We Don't Party, and we will be right back. We appreciate you guys sticking around.
Chilling in a hot tub, filled with chicks and LSD.
are back. You just heard MF Ruckus We Don't Party. If you haven't yet, please go like and subscribe to them on Spotify or anywhere you stream music. And also, please go to mfruckus.com if you'd like to purchase merch, purchase music directly from them, or find out where they're playing next. They do have a show coming up. I believe it's July 22nd at the Bluebird Theater. So make sure if you are in the Denver area to make it out to that show. They are going to rip your faces off. And on that note, I think this is the last week of them as the musical guest. So next week we will have a new musical guest because we're into June.
Yeah, it's on upon us fast.
It's coming up, man. We're cruising through, man. The years are flying by. The months are falling off the calendar. And here we are.
The moon goes down, sun comes up.
And then, a fortnight happens, and then,
Writing poetry over here, man.
But on that note,
we're on the back nine.
We're on the back nine. We just reached the clubhouse. It's a shot at the turn. So if you are watching us and it is appropriate time, please, by all means, indulge in some libations with us.
That's a good way to put it.
Yes, and let us cheers to episode 35 of Fringe Fanatics. This little thing has been going on now for a fucking long time. We're cruising in on a year real quick. So
it's so crazy. Yeah, within a few months, it'll probably be here. That's nuts, man.
Yeah, it's wild. So here we are. Thanks for sticking around, guys. We appreciate you. We're going to be leveling up soon, too. We're going to be done dealing with all this bullshit. I can't wait. But we got to just stick through it for a little bit. So cheers to you guys for sticking through it with us. And we appreciate each and every one of you.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Skull.
Salud.
Oh, that was good. Okay, let's get into the NBA fast break right now.
Well, right now we might as well start on the Heat and Celtics.
Yeah, I just want to give them an update on what we're watching because it's a close game. We're watching the Celtics and Heat. It is Tuesday night. It's Game 4. The Heat are up 3-0 in this series.
Jaylen Brown's arm fell off, apparently.
Boy, he just keeps taking beatings. Right now, it's a close game, though. It's 42 Boston and then 43 Miami. And then it's 4 minutes left in the second quarter.
Yeah, 4:40 left in the second.
I told Chris I've got Celtics picked in this game. I think they're going to snag one, and they might even win Game 5 in Boston. But I still think Miami's going to win this series. So isn't it, Chris, let's inform our listeners out there that don't know, when NBA teams go up 3-0.
Your nipples out.
No way, there it is. Nice. Showing people the nip.
That's the clip right there.
Yeah, it is, baby. My hairy nips, too.
Just that, glad to let you know.
I always wear tank tops, dude. They're just so comfortable.
It's okay. I just wasn't sure if you wanted to just be like, drooping boob a little bit there.
Side
Although
boob.
It's not. It's looking nice over there.
It's side boob.
It's not very boob-esque. You're looking chiseled. You're swole.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to what we were saying.
What did I say? I picked the
you were picking the Celtics.
I was just picking the Celtics, and I could see
to win the next at least one or two games.
So that's what it is. So teams are 149-0 when they lead 3-0 in a series. So
yeah, we were just talking about that. Well, we didn't really talk about it yet, but the Nuggets are dealing with that the other night. It's tough to come back when you've already dug yourself a hole like this, and then you got to play this team. I mean, very rarely does it happen that a team's up 3-0 and they have a chance to clinch at home, because usually you're the underdog when you have the no home court advantage. But here we are. It's Game 4, and Miami has a chance to close this thing out. I think that they are going to close this out tonight. I think they smell blood in the water. I think the Celtics gave up on Missoula last week, which it just seemed that way or not last week. It was Sunday, the other day.
He's been coaching horribly, man. And when we previewed this before, it was they had just started. I think it was their Game 1 was when we started last week.
Yeah, it was on
Wednesday night. And I said I'm taking the Heat in this because Missoula cannot coach, and we're seeing it, man. I mean, the inconsistencies and the lack of being able to get your team to gel at the right time. I mean, all they're running is iso ball with Tatum and Brown.
Yeah, it's basically they realize that's all they have, and it's just like when it came down to the Suns and the Nuggets series.
Yeah.
It's like we only have KD and Booker, so we might as well just try and run every single thing through them, and it failed. And that's what we're seeing with Boston. I think Boston's going to have to retool after this series.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some definite changes. Coach is probably getting fired for sure.
I think Marcus Smart's leaving, definitely. I think he's
Either him or Brown. I think Brown's
I'd
probably
say
going to be a
both.
trade piece.
I'd say both. I bet Smart's going to get signed somewhere. And then, Horford's going to be gone. I mean, and that's just
how much
it.
longer can Horford play?
Yeah, that's another mistake by Missoula is, we see Robert Williams in there now, but why would you not start him instead of Horford? Horford's okay, and he did a good job against Embiid. He really did, but, every series is different. And Bam has been dominating him.
Yeah, and you got to be able to coach with the ebb and flow of the game, and he clearly has not been able to do it. He's obviously the interim coach after God damn it, what's his name? The Celtics' old coach.
Ime Udoka.
Ime Udoka, yes. After he had his little bit of issues, he took over, and things went well. I mean, he's got an insanely good team, so they should be where they're at. The fact that they're down 3-0 is mind-blowing to everybody. And I just... Yeah, after basically getting boat run Sunday night by double digits almost the entire game, it's just like, how do you come back from that? Like, that's...
So right now, Tatum is allowing 62% shooting when he's guarding somebody.
Yeah,
that's horrible. Horrible.
Yeah,
defense.
I mean, you just look at the box score in that game. He was minus 23 when he was on the floor.
Oh my god!
So that means they're putting up 23 anytime he's on the floor. 23 points is what they put up basically.
Yep.
He basically had 14 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. That's your best player. You got to affect the game more than that. I'm sorry.
I mean, we're seeing this is 2 years in a row where he's basically choked. I mean, he did decent in the finals last year, but then when Steph had that huge game 4, Tatum fell apart.
Yeah.
He did not have a good finals.
Well, and the thing, too, now in these last 2 fourth quarters, I believe, he has no points.
Yeah, that last fourth quarter in Game 3, wow. I mean, 0 field goal attempts, right?
Yeah.
0 points. And I think he ended with, 16? I don't want to say
In last
points.
game?
Yeah.
14.
14 points, yeah. Jesus, man.
Yeah, he was the highest scoring Celtic in that game with 14 points.
Yeah, they got
which is
blown
sad.
out.
Yeah,
you were recording, and I was watching that game Sunday night, and I eventually I watched I think all of it the last 5 minutes, but yeah, they were pretty much up by 30 the whole time. It was cool because the Heat, the fans in the arena were just shouting, put in Haslam. I was like, why don't you? You're up 30.
Yeah, put in the fucking 44-year-old Udonis Haslam or however fucking
He's
old
so
he
key
is
to
now.
that team, man. He's what the Grizzlies need is somebody like that.
Hey, it's like why the Nuggets went and got DeAndre Ayton, man. You need that fucking
DeAndre Jordan?
Or DeAndre Jordan, sorry.
How about his
DeAndre
comments
Ayton,
the other day, man? That was awesome.
What'd he say?
Well, he kind of admitted, he's like, Father Time has defeated me. I'm too old.
Oh, I didn't hear him say that.
Yeah, you have to look it up. He kind of really showed a lot of humble behavior and just was open about, the fact that, he hasn't gotten, any playing time, but he's okay with that.
He's gotten a little bit, but the nice thing
Very,
to see
very little, yeah.
is what we had with Bones, and I hate to get into the Nuggets right now, we're talking about this, but when you had Bones, Facu, and these guys that are bitching about playing time and stuff, you just see these guys just excited. DeAndre Jordan's coaching people up on the sidelines, getting with everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Who was it? Was it Bruce Brown or Contavious? They were showing going up and down, just rallying everybody up the other night.
And you see it whenever they get a surge and the Lakers had to call a timeout. Every one of the bench players are coming out there, high-fiving them. I mean, there's so much of them, what I said earlier in there, in the locker room, Malone strives for that. And every locker room and coach can say it, but it's really if you can get that continuity and a team to gel like family. You want them to be like family.
And I think that's what's so good about Spoelstra and why Spoelstra's been, I think, one of the best coaches in the last decade. Because he's doing it right now with this team.
Yeah.
It's not Steve Kerr with, Curry and Clay and Draymond and whatever the fourth guy is, whether it was KD or Jordan Poole these last couple years. You have a way better team, and that's why I think, unfortunately, ESPN and all of the major talking heads and and all the major networks are upset about the fact that we're about to watch Miami and the Nuggets go at it. But I honestly think this is going to be some of the best team basketball you've ever seen played.
I completely agree. And you know what I say to all those guys that make thousands and millions of dollars talking on sports and stuff, thinking they know shit? That's why we wanted to start this podcast, because we've realized after watching so many hours of them,
most of these people are talking out of their ass.
They're catering to an audience to make money for the ads, for the commercials.
Yeah.
That's all it fucking is.
It's just like Perkins and the MVP stuff. That was all clickbait, dude.
I watched JJ Reddick go at it with Stephen A. because he said, we need to talk about the Nuggets. The Nuggets won. And Stephen A. sat there today and said, listen, I get it, but you know what we have to do? There's sometimes we've got to cater to what the audience wants to hear. That's fucking bullshit.
No, what pisses me off, dude, and this is, I think, is LeBron's way of saying I'm still fucking LeBron James, is that he came out and said every single thing you should say. Jokic is the best player I've ever played against. Jokic is the guy right now. This team is insanely good. He said everything right, but what he did to, like, just to be like, I'm still LeBron fucking James, is when he was like, I don't know if I'm coming back.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know why? He fucking knew that anything that was said after that game would be about, is LeBron retiring?
Yep. And that's all it was this morning. I listened to 2 hours of fucking First Take and almost threw my headphones off. And it's ridiculous because I feel like they spent a total of maybe 17 minutes on him, man.
Well,
and it wasn't even like going in depth on it.
It's just like after the Nuggets won, they go to the, which was one of the weakest Western Conference celebrations, and then that was the Nuggets' point, was like, this isn't what this is cool. Thank you. I don't know if you saw it after the game. Jokic gets the
and Brown slapped him.
the Irving Johnson award. As soon as he walked in the tunnel, did you see he just gave it away to whoever to go put it in the box? Yeah. And it's like, this is cool. Well, I'm done with it. This isn't what I'm here for.
Even before that, when they handed it to him, he sat it right back down on the table.
Yeah.
It's not like he's like Embiid where he's holding it, he's just going to keep like cherishing it and stuff. You know, he's not about that.
He doesn't care. He wants the rings.
We should say this too, because I almost forgot, but when they asked a really good question, and
we basically transitioned to the Nuggets now, if you guys
pretty much. I mean,
we picked the Heat to win. It's going to be Heat Nuggets for the finals.
It will be.
And the Nuggets are going to have home court advantage. So let's move into the Nuggets right now.
I still have a couple more things I'll say about the Heat, but I mean, we got 4 teams. We can kind of mesh it around, and we're going to discuss all 4. But we are going to get into the Nuggets a lot. And the thing that I wanted to mention is just like how you could tell that Jokic is such a good basketball player, because it's almost like he doesn't have a movie star personality.
No, not at all.
Because he gets asked questions and he's so awkward and he's so humble about it. It's almost like kind of boring, but it's the right thing to say.
Well, just like they're like, what do you think about winning the Western Conference Finals MVP award? And he's like, it's nice, but he's like, it goes to my team because they're why we're here. This, it's just another thing. Like, I don't, and it's hard for him too because he doesn't speak English well enough.
No, and he just is trying to say the right thing, and he is. That is the right thing to say. But what we're so accustomed to, and especially in the NBA, are like hype men. Someone coming through there and be like, "We earned this. We knew we were the fucking best." Talking themselves up, but that's not what he's about. And
that's why everybody's like, there's no it's not the Showtime Lakers. It's the Denver Nuggets who show up with their hard hats and they're ready to go to work.
Who are we watching right now that considered him he said, I'm humbly one of the best basketball players in the world. Jason Tatum, you're down 0-3 right now. You're probably going to get swept tonight. And you would never see Jokic say after a game, I'm humbly one of the best. That is the most contradictory fucking statement in the world.
Yeah, you literally can't say I'm humbly the best.
Just what the fuck is that, man?
That doesn't even work.
It doesn't make sense, man.
It's a double positive.
But the statement that I wanted to get to with that Jokic made that I love so much was, it was a great question by the horrible reporter that asked him. She goes, so what do you think this does for the Denver fan base? And it's kind of interesting because it's almost like he doesn't give a shit. He's winning this more for his team, himself, and his family than anything. Because he laughed. Well, I know he is, and he's excited. He loves the fans, but but he's so true to himself. He couldn't help but to laugh. He goes, hold on, this is what he said. He laughs and he goes, honestly, I'm excited for my parents back home.
Oh,
because he knows they're the ones that's going to be more proud than him than anybody.
Yeah.
You know, he knows, of course, the fans are going to be happy, but, like, in his mind, he's such a small-town Serbian kid. All he can think about is his parents,
family.
dude, riding around on their horse carriages and shit. Like, he's awesome, dude, and I love it. But to circle back to the Heat, and I'm sorry to go on such a long rant, but I wanted to lament what you were saying about, like, this is the first time in a while we don't have two super teams going up against each other, man.
Thank God.
I like the Heat a lot, and it sucks because the Nuggets are going to face them. But when it comes down to it, I'm going to want the Nuggets to win. But it's great because I like the Heat. I love Jimmy Butler's story. If nobody knows that he came from a really rough upbringing in Chicago where he didn't have a dad.
Yeah, his mom like just told him to get out, and he just
well, he lived in a car with his mom when they were young, and then his mom told him, "You need to get out."
Yeah,
and
he
really
went
young
to the
age.
family and.
Yeah, and so it's a really amazing story that we'll probably get a Netflix movie.
And the sad thing is instead of talking about that story, well, I mean, and they're gonna have to once Boston is eliminated. But it's just sad that they're missing out on telling these stories because they just want to talk about LeBron.
Oh, it's awful, man. I mean,
and I hate to say it, AD to be a top 75 player of all time, give me a fucking break.
It's bullshit, man. It is such bullshit.
Maybe one of the top 10, 15 defenders of all time. I'll take that. I'll take
same,
that all day.
I'm pretty sure the people that voted top 75 are the same people that vote MVP because they're the same people that didn't vote Tony Parker into the top 75.
Yeah.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? Dude has 5 rings. Like,
doesn't matter, dude. He's
not
AD with 1.
Yeah. I don't know if Tony Parker
because he had to
got
team
5.
up with
Did
LeBron.
Tony Parker get 5? I know he got like 3 with Tim Duncan.
Shit, he might have got at least 4.
No, because the Spurs franchise got 5, but I think the Admiral got 1.
Oh, David Robinson?
Yeah,
he
David
got
Robinson.
the first year Tim Duncan was there, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe, I don't know when I don't feel like Tony Parker got 5, but I know he got, at least 4. But that's just it. It's like, I mean, I think Clay deserves to be up. He's one of the best 3-point shooters of all time. And then you look at these other people that got chosen. Damian Lillard got chosen. But
yeah,
we're getting off.
Yeah,
on
we're getting way out.
That's
yeah.
my bad.
Yeah, no, we're all good. The only thing I'd say about Clay is if he wasn't on the Warriors, would he be there?
No way,
so
not at all.
That's
Great
what I wanted
point.
to say.
Great point.
The Nuggets in surprising fashion, dude. I mean, every game, aside from the first game, where the Nuggets basically boat raced them for 3 quarters, almost 2.5 for sure. Nuggets come out just rolling on them.
Yeah.
And AD goes for 40. I think LeBron basically averaged a triple-double this.
He did, actually.
Yeah.
Zach Biden mentioned on his podcast.
So, I mean, dude, don't get me wrong. LeBron was fucking great.
Yeah.
And AD was great for 1 game. Other than that, I didn't see...
Yeah.
I just didn't see what the big deal about AD is.
Well, last night he went 6 for 15.
Good.
That's like 35%. And the thing of it is one. I got a stat here for Jamal Murray that I want to mention, but just stay on the Lakers for a second. D'Angelo Russell, who everybody was talking about, and that's what everybody keeps forgetting is like they just keep. They don't want to talk about the Nuggets, but then they keep forgetting that the Lakers are the team to beat last year's champs. They beat the Warriors, okay?
Yeah.
Because they want to like cut the knees from the Lakers now that the Nuggets beat them. Like, oh, LeBron's old. AD, LeBron was hurt. AD's just not himself and all this shit. Okay, this is the same team that beat Steph Curry and the Warriors when the Warriors had home court advantage. But
the Warriors won last year, but the year before that was when they beat them.
No, that's what I'm saying is the Lakers beat the Warriors last year's champs. So that's what I'm saying. They beat a good team
for sure.
It's like it's not like the Lakers just cruised in here beating nobody.
Everybody, look, I said Nuggets in 6. I thought that was, and I thought that was a safe bet. I thought in my heart 5, in my head 6.
Yeah.
But just for them to come out and just sweep them the way they did, it's like, wow.
It's a word that I sent to you multiple times during the series: resiliency.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't know how many times. I mean, almost in every game except for the first game, they had to claw their way back. And last night, they were down by 15 at one point, and all I kept thinking is like, if they can, because of the endurance, and
I was like, if they can keep it within 10, dude, they're gonna.
That's
be fine.
what I said.
They're
I
gonna be
said
fine.
if they could.
It's the first time I've ever felt that way.
Yeah.
Last night I was like, they're okay.
Yep.
I was
And
like,
that's
LeBron, he's got 31 in the first half. That's great. He's gonna get tired.
And exactly
And he
how
scored
much
9
of a,
fucking points after
Here's
that.
a question for you: if he decides to like set aside his ego. And I give him credit. He wanted to go all out, but he's fucking 38 years.
He played 47 minutes and 56 seconds.
Here's my question. If he decides to take a 2-minute rest in that first half and maybe a little bit more of a rest in the second half, do you think that they could have possibly had more of a chance?
No.
I think they probably still would have lost.
I don't.
But, I mean,
dude, they ran into a fucking buzzsaw.
Yeah.
And he admitted it, to say the least. And it's like, even, I guess, at one point, him and AD were talking after the game, and they said, that's the best fucking team we've faced since we've been together in 4 years.
Yep. And that's
you're
longer
talking,
than he was in Miami.
Yeah, and you're
too.
talking beating Golden State. I mean, you're talking losing to Golden State.
You're talking about, they won it all in the bubble. They beat Jimmy Butler's Heat team.
Yeah.
But just real quick, let's build up some other players. I mean, Aaron Gordon last night, man. I mean, he had made a 3 in this playoff series yet, and then made 3.
Yeah,
3 for 3.
5. Oh, was he 3 for 3?
Had
I thought
20
he took a couple
points.
more. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did, but
Let's
he
see,
did make
I got
3.
This pulled up here.
I did have the box score.
Gordon, he went 3 for 5. Okay, so I was right. So he had 2 other ones, but dude, it's just so great to see because, and that's one thing is. For one, nobody's been talking about the Nuggets this whole fucking time. But if you were watching the Nuggets and you were talking about the Nuggets, obviously it's going to be Nikola Jokic every fucking week or every game. It's going to be Jamal Murray. I mean, for half a game for sure. I mean, he's definitely gotten way more consistent. But it's guys like Gordon who are going to get lost in this conversation when it's talking about, dude, he guarded Cat. He guarded KD.
Yep.
He's guarded LeBron. And I hate to say it, I think that scuffle between him and LeBron was a little bit of a
tipping point, wasn't it?
It kind of pushed the momentum because, for one, LeBron's a bitch, dude. He pushed Gordon's hand up into his face. He tried to throw his hand off, and Gordon's hand just kind of
accidentally.
Dude, it was like this.
Yeah.
And then LeBron's like, oh, well, and you just saw what was happening.
Because Gordon kind of trapped his arm a little bit, but it wasn't that bad. But here's the thing.
But he pushes him in the throat,
He
dude.
puts his forearm up into his throat and pushes him into the basketball goal. If any other fucking player in the league does that, they're kicked out.
Yeah.
And it's fucking LeBron, dude. I
Yeah.
hope he retires. I'm so tired of seeing
Was it him on Murray or somebody where somebody drove to the basket and LeBron fouled him pretty hard? And I was like, I think he hit him in the head. It was towards the end of the game. I want to say it was in the fourth quarter. Now I can't fucking remember.
I feel like I know what you're talking about.
But I was like, dude, that should be a second fucking tech right there. And it's not going to happen. And, dude, we got to be thankful for one thing. The refs, those 2 ticky-tack, well, one of them was legit. The 2 offensive fouls on Joker.
They were offensive fouls. You can tell he was
I would
losing.
argue. One of them I would argue.
Yeah,
but one of them was just like he was pissed off.
That's what I was gonna say. You could tell Jokic was pissed, man, because
But these are these things though that 2-3 years ago he would have lost it.
Yeah,
and gotten thrown out.
Yep. It is crazy to think. I forgot about that. About 3 years ago, Jokic was getting tossed in games,
dude, all the time.
Yeah.
Like almost like every month he got tossed from like one game. It felt like
because he would lose his temper. So it is kind of nice to see that maturity come out of him. Michael Porter Jr., man, he averaged 10 rebounds in this series. 10 rebounds. This is a guy that we've been begging to get towards the boards. That's huge.
Yeah, we've been saying for a long time, dude. You're 6'10", dude.
Yeah.
Why are you not anywhere near the paint? I mean, a ball might just fuck. With the way Jokic can fucking, excuse me, the way Jokic can fucking volleyball balls around like he does when he drives into the paint.
Right.
One of those is gonna fly out to you. You're 6'10", and he's finally starting to do it. He had a terrible shooting night last night. Was not good.
Yeah, 3 for 10 from 3. It wasn't good. But you know what I will say? It's nuts. Even if he goes, what is that, 30%? He did go 30% from 3 last night.
Do you realize in his career he's averaging like 45% from 3?
Yeah, because
if he retired now, he'd be like a top 5, top 6 3-point shooter.
I wonder what the minimum is. I wonder if he's hit the minimum attempts.
I don't know.
But either way, what I really do appreciate, even if he's shooting 30% like he did last night from behind the arc, the timeliness of when they do go in, it's huge because they're clutch. I mean, last night, it was a close game, and he hits that three to put us up 107 to 104.
Yeah,
dude, that's huge. And then, of course, Jokic. We got to talk about this.
Oh my god,
circus shots!
Oh my god,
from
which
him.
is not the first time this has happened.
No, it's the third or fourth time.
I don't know which was more insane. Was the one over AD or the one over LeBron?
Yeah, it's tough to say because LeBron's face afterwards, both the same way.
AD, same thing, was just like, what the fuck?
It's funny because AD laughed about it, but LeBron looked deflated.
Yeah, LeBron just like, and he said that after the game. He's like, you guard the. He's like, this guy is legit. He's like, you can guard him as much. He's like, look at what I did. I guarded him fucking perfect. And he goes behind the head, Larry Legend style. And the ball, dude, I swear to God, both of those balls over 15 feet in the air.
Oh, no doubt.
They were like,
you lost them in the camera,
arcs.
and they just come down. And you
then
know what I thought about it?
swish.
Who it reminds me of, and who it's the best shooter in the history of the game because of his instinct. Steph Curry. There's sometimes Steph Curry puts up the most ridiculous circus shots, but it's because he practices those. It's not like he practices circus shots, but he just fucks around.
No, he does practice circus shots.
He
practices like shots from the tunnel.
He does, yeah, and he's behind the goal and stuff like that. But Jokic, it's just their time that they put in. They have instinct on the flow, where they're at. It's just instinct.
It's just like he knows I'm gonna step back and hit this. And that one on LeBron when they called it a 2-pointer, I was like, his foot was up.
Yeah,
that's a 3-pointer.
Yep,
he had 1 foot when he shot.
That was such a Larry Bird shot, man. And and that's what Greg Popovich called him. He said he's a bigger Larry Bird.
Yeah. There was that other. Was it game 3? I think it was game 3. Jamal Murray had a stab step on AD that ate him up. It was at the top of the key. Jamal Murray steps. AD drops back, and Jamal just drops back and just sinks a 3-pointer from the top. And I was like, "Damn, dude!
Yeah,
they can't do nothing."
No, there's the shots that they're hitting when they are hitting. It's nasty. I mean, they were really cold. I mean, I think they took like 7 or 8 threes before they made one, and I was like, "Why are they keep taking threes?" But once they start, and once I think it was MPJ hit the first one, I was like, oh, that's all it takes. You just got to get that ice shaken off. You got to get just the moss off you, whatever you want to call it. Maybe it's moss that are flying around right now. Nobody knows.
Or moss.
Moss.
Moths?
Yeah, we have an apocalypse of moss here in Commerce City right now. So
everywhere, dude.
It's everywhere in Colorado.
Ridiculous, man.
Yeah, but dude, I poured a curveball shot for you just because we're getting so into the Nuggets. We are going to the conference finals. A few other stats I want to hit. Jokic broke a 56-year record that, to me, when they said it, it flattened me, man.
And he ain't done, dude.
He ain't done. He's still got another series to go. So he passed Will Chamberlain for the most triple-doubles in a postseason with 8, and he still has one more playoff series to go. And he's averaged a triple-double in back-to-back playoff series with the Suns and against the Lakers. The guy is playing out of his mind. Like you said, we can't say enough about him, but it's his leadership. And what we haven't even mentioned this. Whenever it was in Game 3, Malone said it after the game. He said, it's
timeout.
It's Coach Jokic out there. He was calling plays the last 5 minutes of the game.
So there's a timeout. The coaches are doing their little huddle. Jokic and the team's already sat down, and he draws up a play for him and Murray. Like, all right, look, we're gonna all move to the right. They're all gonna flow to us, and there's, we're gonna. And then Malone comes over, and he's like, "What are we doing?"
Yeah. How about that shit, dude? That's that.
But I mean, don't get me
love
wrong.
it.
I mean, they and in Game 4 they tried to cut to that shit on ESPN and be like, "Oh, LeBron does this too."
Yeah, I saw that, dude. It's like,
I saw LeBron bitching
my
at
God.
people. I didn't see him grab a whiteboard and drop a fucking play.
yeah, no, it's
And don't
totally
get me wrong, dude. And sorry, we'll take the shot, but I'm not shitting on LeBron, dude. After watching this series, I gained a lot of respect for him. I don't like the joining super teams and stuff, but dude's 38 years old and did everything he could to win this fucking series, and nobody fucking helped him. He had AD in Game 1, and then that was it, dude.
Yeah, Austin Reeves
did
gave him a
as
little
much as he
bit.
could.
Yeah,
but in
It's
the
Austin
offense
Reeves,
that they
though,
run,
man.
he's like a third, fourth tier in the offense. It's
and
AD
by the time they
and LeBron.
get Austin the ball, it's easy to get somebody over there and get a hand in his face.
Yeah.
It hurt us in game 2, but then we figured it out.
Yeah, I mean, Game 4 was scary, though, with LeBron starting to hit them threes, but it doesn't matter. Western Conference champions.
Western Conference champions. And you know what? I'm not done, and I will apologize to the listeners if you don't give a shit about the Nuggets. Guess what? You're just like ESPN, because I said to Chris, ESPN and a lot of the national pundits out there do not want to give the credit and the coverage that the Nuggets deserve.
Yep.
So the Fringe Fanatics Sportscast,
We're gonna do it.
We'll fucking do it.
God damn it.
Dude, we're going big,
We gotta do
man.
something.
We're going to blow up.
Go blow up back
So-
like I don't know nobody.
Jokic passed Wilt Chamberlain, 8 triple-doubles, and then I switched to a plant. Hold on. Murray. This is fucking amazing because, Zach By kept saying, we're waiting for Murray to take that leap to the superstar status. We know he's a star. We saw the bubble Murray. We're waiting him to solidify himself, and I believe this is the series that he did it. Jamal Murray is the first player to become... No, let me reread this. I fucked up. Jamal Murray has become the first ever player to average 30 points on 50, 40, 90 shooting in a conference final series. That means 50% from field goal percentage, 40% from 3 points, and 90% from free throws. I mean, first player ever.
Yeah, and not to mention, I think he's the only player with 4 20-point fourth quarters.
Yeah,
in the playoffs.
That's true. Yep.
All we've been hearing all year is Jokic breaking records from Wilt Chamberlain, who people never, ever thought would be beaten.
Nope.
And Jokic is just slaying these records.
Let me say
it's
this
like
again.
every other fucking night, Wilt Chamberlain's record goes down.
Yeah, I mean, if the ghost of Wilt is going to be haunting
Wilt
Jokic
the stilt.
Coming from Kansas. That is a good alumni that I am proud of. But I'll say it again. A 56-year-long record, man. It's
crazy.
I just raised my glasses to Jokic. I mean, it's so much fun watching him, man.
56 fucking years, and all the players: Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, Oscar Robertson.
I mean,
Shaq.
Yeah.
Nobody's fucking done this shit.
Nope.
And some random chubby dude from Serbia,
who was drafted during a Taco Bell commercial.
a Quesarito commercial, which I think, and I'm saying it right here, right now on the Fringe Fanatic Sports podcast, that if the Nuggets win the NBA Finals, the Quesarito needs to come back.
It should.
It needs to be back.
In Jokic's
and we're
name.
going to eat it on the show as soon as they bring it
Dude,
back.
have you tried the nacho fries, man?
The ones that are like the potato wedges?
No, they're not potato. They're like fries, but they're seasoned like a motherfucker, man.
From Taco Bell?
Taco Bell, you gotta
haven't.
get them, dude. They give you a little case. Like
You got the
little
grilled cheese burrito, right?
That's what I know. I get the grilled steak burrito, but
you got the grilled cheese
she got the
one?
nacho fries, and I tried them, and then it was funny because we had Taco Bell last night while Jokic, a Taco Bell star, fucking
second round
did
draft
all
pick
that.
during
That's
Taco
right.
Bell commercial. We just talked about it.
I got the nacho fries, man. They are fire. That's my rec center for this week. Get the nacho fries.
Dang, man. Dang old nacho fries.
Yeah. All right. Well, we appreciate this long bias buzzer beater that you guys let us
go ahead
on.
and I'll ring that buzzer right now.
Yeah. We're looking forward to it. I think they could beat the Heat. Right now, the Heat are up by 3 points. It's 58-61. Miami leading.
I mean, I think the Heat is going to be a damn good series.
I think it could go 7.
I don't think
man.
we're going to get swept.
No.
I don't think they're going to get swept, but
No.
I don't think they're ready for what is about to hit them.
Not only that, anytime someone comes up to altitude and they literally
We're
play
talking
in
lowest
Miami.
to low altitudes.
That's what I was about to say. They play in Miami, right at sea level.
Yeah.
Jumping up 5,280 feet, that's not an easy feat.
The only thing lower is New Orleans, and we all know what happened there.
You need to move somewhere else.
You can't get house insurance. You might want to move.
Chris,
But
should we head to the ice?
let's head to the ice. Let's move into the penalty
That
box.
was fun, man. We need to clip that out. That was good.
I don't know. Can we clip a 15-minute Nuggets?
not? I'm all
I
about
don't
it.
think it was actually 15 minutes, but nonetheless.
I just say we title it Goodbye, LeBron. No.
Here's what happens. If Miami wins, the name of this episode is going to be Get Out The Brooms.
Yeah, I could see
That's
that.
2 sweeps.
Yeah, 2 sweeps, which
I
has
don't
never
remember
been.
no, it's happened.
No, I thought it had never happened before.
I think it has happened. I'd never looked into it, but I think it has happened.
Okay. You start off the penalty
Okay,
box.
I'm gonna run through the penalty box.
Google this.
We're going to start with Carolina Hurricanes versus the Florida Panthers. The Florida Panthers are up 3-0 in this series, and it's looking like it could be a possible sweep situation, speaking of Get Out the Brooms. Sergei Bobrovsky skated off the whole arena chanting his name. Bobrovsky stops 32 shots on the way to his first playoff shutout as the Panthers stun the Canes 1-0, taking a 3-0 series lead. Out of the last 110 shots that Bobrovsky has faced, he has stopped 109 of them.
Wow.
Yeah, this goes all the way back to the third period in the 4 overtime win in Game 1. So Sam Reinhart scored the lone goal that was assisted by Matthew Tkachuk and Sam Bennett midway through the second period. Frederick Anderson, he stopped, 16 shots for He stopped 16 shots for Carolina, and the Canes ended up pulling him for the extra skater with 3:22 left in the third. Crazy stat, there has been 261 minutes and 38 seconds of hockey in this series, and neither team has led by more than a goal.
It's been a close series.
Yeah, Game 4 is in Wednesday night in Florida, so yeah, we got through that. Did you Googleize that?
Yeah, so there have never been 2 sweeps in the conference finals.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that was the case, but yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, I thought there was at least 1 or 2, but you know what? It is pretty wild.
And we should mention, just to finish that NBA thing, to add a little thing to that, if Miami wins tonight, well, already the Nuggets have a 9-day break, and the first finals game is June 1st.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that, but here we are.
Yeah, because, I mean, if, let's say, the Heat and them went to Game 7, I guess that would give them a 2-day break or something, but they need to figure out alternatives, man. I don't know. Figure it out.
If the NFL can move games from Sunday to Thursday, you should be able to move some finals games
for
around.
some reason, they want to be, there's Brooks Koepka in the stands for Miami. That's cool.
Look at that.
Jeremy Piven.
Jeremy Piven pie, dude. Get a little Jeremy Piven pie right there.
Oh, it's Derek Jeter.
Yeah,
Miami's always got stars out.
Isn't he an owner? I don't know.
I think so. Probably.
Anyways, so continue. Miami, if they win.
Yeah, so that's just it. Is like if Miami wins, then both teams will have to wait 9 days until the start of the finals.
Well, Miami. Oh yeah, I guess so. It would be 9 days.
It would be 9 days. Yeah.
Well, Miami technically gets 8 because there's day off starts
I guess
tomorrow.
that's true. Yeah.
But then nonetheless, completely even playing field at that point.
Yeah, I mean but here's what we were discussing at work today. What would you rather have? The Celtics try to push Miami maybe a couple more games and wear Miami out, but then in that case, Miami's going to be a little more warm. They're not going to be as cold.
I mean, it could go either way. I would rather them just end it tonight.
Really?
Get the same amount of rest. There's no bullshit. Oh, the Nuggets got an 8 seed off like 2 days rest. It's an even playing field at that point. If nobody wants this anyways in the mainstream media, so we might as well make it as good as possible and let them both get the same amount of rest.
Yeah, I could see that. It's a good point.
But I don't know.
To stick on Carolina and Florida, back to hockey.
Yes, sir.
Dude, the injuries, and I brought it up before this series started. There was like 5 guys out for Carolina, and it's really seeming to kill them. The injuries are really hurting them. But Tkachuk is a fucking good player, man.
He is a really good player.
He's
he is the leading scorer for the Panthers right now.
He is, and I've heard he's
playoffs.
the leading candidate to get the Conn Smythe Award as well.
Yeah, I mean, if they keep going, 6 goals, 11 assists. It's just I don't see how you can't if he keeps going. He is definitely one of the better players for the Panthers. It's just. Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it plays out because both of the teams that are probably going to be coming out, the Vegas Golden Knights and the Panthers, there's some damn good players on both of those teams.
Oh, there's no doubt.
We'll see what happens.
Yep.
But I agree. I do think he's definitely up there. He's probably top 3 candidate right now.
Yeah, from what I've heard, since Game 1 of the first playoff series, he has been leading the team and been consistent and great in every game. And so... yeah, he's definitely the leader of that team.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, there's an insane amount of minutes played in this series where 261 minutes and 38 seconds of hockey is where we have basically had a 1-goal lead no more so than that. And you look at these games, game 1 at Carolina, the Panthers win 3-2 over the Hurricanes in the 6th longest game in NHL playoff history, a 4 overtime game, which is just so insane.
That's crazy. Wait, let's remind me of this. What is an overtime period in hockey?
In the playoffs, it's a full period. That's what I was telling you, dude. That was 2 fucking full games.
Yeah. So
they played 79 minutes.
It's 20 minutes is a full period, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They played 79 minutes of overtime hockey.
Those guys must have been exhausted.
That's what I'm telling you. They literally played 2 fucking games in one night. That's
crazy.
Insane. Yeah, so the Panthers end up winning that one 3-2. They go into game 2 at Carolina. Both the games, Carolina was obviously had home ice advantage. Game 2, Carolina Panthers win 2-1 in overtime, and then we get to last night's game where the Panthers win 1-0. Like I said, they get the shutout. Insanely hard to do in the playoffs, especially 1-0 shutout. I mean, that's just like a really. People talk about soccer being boring, and no hockey game is ever boring. But you see at least in the stat line or in the box score 1-0, and you're like, oh god, that had to suck. But I'm sure this was an insanely good game. Like I said in the quick rundown, they pulled their goalie with 3 minutes and 22 seconds. 3 minutes and 22 seconds left in the third. They went to 6-man on the ice.
Holy shit.
And they still couldn't get past Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky is playing out of his mind right now. I think Florida, and I said this last week, Florida's going to be in the finals. We can move into the Western Conference right now, where the Vegas Golden Knights are taking on the Dallas Stars. After a slashing penalty in the first and a payback cross-check in the second by Chandler Stevenson led to a talking to from head coach Butch Cassidy, he later nets the game-winning overtime goal that gave the Knights the 3-2 win and a 2-0 series lead over the Stars. Jonathan Marchessault and Mark Stone each had a goal and an assist, and Aiden Hill made 26 saves for the Knights. The Stars gave it their all as Miro Heiskanen and Jason Robertson each scored, and Ryan Suter had 2 assists, and Jake Odencher made 21 saves. Dallas led 1-0 and 2-1 before Marchessault forced overtime with 2:22 left in the third. The Stars are 0-4 in overtime in this Stanley Cup run. Dang. So if you can get Dallas to overtime, you got a chance of winning that game. So
seems like they crumble in overtime.
Definitely seems that way. They are the 5th team to lose that many overtime games in any Stanley Cup run.
Damn.
Game 3 is tonight. Teams that have won the first 2 games of the conference finals have advanced 91% of the time.
Wow.
So, I mean, yeah, you look at the Panthers up 3-0. It's got to be like fucking 99%, somewhere around there. I don't know who else would get ahead of them at that point. But, yeah, it's looking like I think this series, the Dallas Stars and the Golden Knights have a little bit more of a chance of going longer. I don't think the Panthers go more than 5 games. I don't see, especially with Game 4 being in Florida on Wednesday, I just don't see how
Let's check the score.
The Canes can get.
Holy shit. The Knights are up 4-0 right now.
See, so dude, we might be looking at 2. We literally might have sweeps in the NHL and the NBA in all conference finals.
That's so crazy, man.
That's probably never happened. And not to mention this. Think of how cool this would be, and granted, this is me being a homer, but had the Colorado Avalanche not had all of the shit happen to them, we could literally be looking at a Colorado and South Florida finals in both the NHL and the NBA.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
But here we are. You have Miami Heat and the Florida Panthers both now pretty much set in the finals.
And Florida, are they based out of Miami?
I don't think it's Miami. I'm not entirely sure where they play. I'd have to Googleize that.
Yeah.
Where does Florida play? But nonetheless, dude, it's still crazy. I mean, think of how cool it's been in Florida. Who won the Final Four?
Who won college basketball?
Yeah. Wasn't it a Miami team?
Dude, I am blanking on that.
I'm blanking on that too. Holy shit! I just know that Miami's been doing really good in championships this year.
Miami did,
or Florida in general.
Miami didn't go very far. God, why can't I fucking think of it?
I can't.
UConn won.
Oh shit! Not in the men's. That was women's, right?
Oh, man. Yeah, it was men's.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Apparently, I need to pay more attention to college basketball.
Sunrise, Florida is where Florida Panthers play.
Son of a
Oh, right
bitch.
outside of Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, so it was.
Yeah, I've been to Fort Lauderdale.
So look at that.
Yeah, just north of Miami. Yeah, so it's like right there. That's crazy. There's a lot of championships going on around there. Yeah, it's too bad the Avs had all that shit happen. They could have been there.
They could have, and we
Yeah.
still haven't heard what's going on with Valerie Nichushkin, which I'm still waiting for that juicy story to
I'm sure the Russian mob took
unveil
them-
itself.
took them
Yeah, it
back.
might have something to do with Bert Kreischer. I don't know
I was about to
anymore.
say, I want to see that movie, man. It's gonna be good. Go watch The Machine.
Yeah, if you
Coming out
can.
next weekend.
It's next weekend and only in theaters. And of course, my phone is being
No, I think
really
it's
slow
the
right
25th,
now.
actually.
Yeah, it is
comes
the
out.
25th.
Yeah. Shall we hit it hard, Chris?
Well, hold on one second. It's just greater Miami area for the Florida Panthers.
Yeah, that's what I said here. Sunrise. It's like
Oh.
right north of Miami.
Shit. Well, on that note, that has been the NBA Fast Break and the Penalty Box back to back. We are almost to the end of the show, and you are about to hear John Daly hit it hard, man.
Let's get some shots poured for us.
We will be right back. Thank you guys for sticking around. Appreciate you as always.
I hit it hard, man. So far, man. No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. Till it's gone, man. Keep taking chances, living large. I hit it hard.
And we are back for the final time of episode 35. This is Fringe Fanatics. You just heard John Daly hit it fucking hard, man. And we are about to talk about the Daily Dose of Excellence, which is, for one thing for us, it's been a staple of this show since we started the show.
Yep.
And you can even say it's maybe some of the basis of the show was the Daily Dose of Excellence.
I think it's the core of it. We've done it every week.
Definitely. And here we are again. And unfortunately, we're going to go back to golf.
Yeah.
Because last week was Jason Day. Now we're moving into Michael Block. So do you
It's
want to
fitting.
talk us into the highlight of the week, Chad?
It will.
So the weekend for him, anyways.
Yeah, I'll tell you, because I was watching this live and I couldn't help but to just be amazed by it. I was watching this live. I was mowing the yard, and so I come in, grab a drink. I had the PGA Championship on, and I just hear the crowd go crazy. Like something happened, man. I was like, what the
Usually
fuck?
when they go crazy, something happens.
Well, it's just like something happened. Like I thought something maybe bad happened. Like what the fuck? And I look and I see Michael Block super confused, and he's looking around like what happened? What happened?
Did it go in?
And Roy McIlroy, or that's what I said his name.
Rory,
Yeah,
yeah.
Roy hugged him. and
Rory.
Rory hugged him, and he's like, What are you hugging me? What's going on? He's like, did it go in?
Yeah, he didn't even believe it when he was walking out.
Didn't
He's like,
even
where the
believe
fuck
it.
is it at? And he's like,
Yeah.
oh shit, it's in the hole.
It went
Yeah.
in. So Michael Block hit a hole-in-one on, I don't remember which hole it was. It was like 12. It was towards the back nine, I think.
Yeah, it was definitely on the teens. I can't remember. It might have been
Yeah.
13.
But-
But nonetheless, yeah, it was insane, man. He hits this thing just on a rope right into the fucking hole. I mean, it blasts the back of the hole, goes right in. You could see the divot in the hole where the ball hit, literally in the cup. Like, I mean, this thing flew. Here's the cup, and it hits like poof, right here in the back and goes right in. Shit you never see. It's like we were talking about earlier. I mean, to hit a ball that dead on a line, like a rope like that,
It's never happened.
and for it to hit in there and not bounce out. We've seen that before where it hits in the hole and bounces out. That thing just lodged in there. He didn't believe it. And that was just like the cherry on top of this guy's storybook week, basically.
Yep.
I mean, this guy's a club pro from Mission Viejo, California. Basically just shocked the entire world and became the story of this entire thing. I mean, I know we talked about earlier in Brooks Koepka won, but
It was nuts after watching it, because after he hit that hole-in-one, all the crowd like moved towards Michael Block.
Yeah.
That's what the whole crowd was about.
I watched an interview where he said, where he realized that he could do this because I mean he's been a club pro for a while, and most of those guys, they literally just teach lessons and stuff. You can get invited, you can play in these programs and stuff and get into the actual PGA. You have a PGA card more often than not, but he's been able to maintain his PGA card, and he goes out there and just shows everybody that anybody can do this. And that was kind of his whole thing, was like, I'm just like everybody else. Like, there's 28,000 other PGA Pro professionals out there that are just like me, and I'm doing this for them. And just like when he hit that hole in one and everything, he just like everything he's been so emotional about, because he's just like, this is just so crazy, and he's just been taken aback by everything. And it's so cool to see somebody go through that and not just be like, your average professional is just like another day. Like, this guy was reveling in every single moment that happened, and it was cool to see, man.
He seized the moment too, because I believe after the hole-in-one on hole 16, he hit an amazing, I want to say 12-foot putt to make par, and the crowd just erupted because that tied him for 15th, which put him at an automatic invitation to next year's PGA Championship.
Yeah, did you watch the video of him getting told that he was going to get invited?
Yeah,
the
he started breaking down crying.
He's like, if you tell me what you're about to tell me, I'm going to start crying. He's like, well, I'm about to tell you what I'm about to tell you, because with you tying for 15th, you've been invited to next week, and I think it's a TPC Sawgrass. I don't remember the name of the.
I can't remember either.
Can't remember, but nonetheless, this guy's been invited to go play next week. I looked something up, and it was a crazy stat, because this, like I said, this guy's basically teaching lessons on the side. He charges
this is cool.
$150 per lesson. And it basically, by tying for 15th, he would have to teach 1,922 lessons in order to equal the $288,333 he won this weekend for tying for 15th place.
So he saved himself a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was crazy, too, because I saw on Saturday they were talking to him, and he's like, I booked my family and everybody's flights are for tomorrow on Sunday, the final round. And he's like, so I don't know if people are staying. I don't know what's happening, but he's like, I have to go figure out, I have to go change my flights. Because he's like, I've got classes on Monday. I have to go teach. Like, I've got to go back and like start work again. It's just super cool, man. It's just like,
cool story.
Yeah, just your total dude, just like,
just an average Joe, an average Joe who
the best way to describe it might be like Tin Cup. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
I've heard of it, definitely. Kevin Costner,
yeah, kind of the same type of thing.
Cool.
Just this random course professional that like ends up, he was really good and then became a course professional and then kind of gave up and then gets a chance to do it again. Similar thing, man. And this guy, like, I don't think he had any intention of playing in a PGA tournament next week, and here he is, comes out and lights the world on fire. He's the story of the week, and it's super cool to see shit like this, man. This is why we do this shit.
Yeah, exactly.
This is why the DDOE exists.
He had a daily dose of excellence, and it's that same thing that we saw with the British Open with John Daly, where you might have just kind of like a long stream of just like average, pretty good, but then every now and then you just have that spur of the moment, lightning in a bottle.
Yeah. Sometimes it just takes getting that fucking chance.
Yep.
And I think this is what I meant to allude to earlier before I went on a tangent, was that he said that he knew when he could do this was, I think it was like a year or two ago, he was playing in a tournament and Tiger was like a hole or two behind him. And he's like, so we're getting ready to tee off, and people are trying to, get ahead of Tiger. So he's like, we're 2 holes ahead of him. He's like, well, I'm teeing off. It's 10 people deep down the whole hole. Like, so, just swarms of people waiting for Tiger to get up there. They're like, well, we're not going to get up on the hole he's on now. We'll go to the next one. And he's like, that was when I kind of realized, like, oh, I could do this.
Oh,
like,
cool.
it's not, I'm not the moment isn't too big.
Yeah.
So,
and it's a story of redemption too, because if I read this right, I don't think he's qualified for a PGA Tour event since 2015.
yeah, I think the most he's won was like $75,000 in a tournament, which is still like, I mean,
that's a lot.
if you play a weekend of golf and win 75 grand,
Yeah.
we barely make that work in all fucking year.
Oh yeah. I wonder what Koepka made after winning it. Did you see?
Oh, dude, it's gonna be an insane amount. Let's
Probably I
Google
want
it
to
real
say
quick.
like 2.25. My guess is 2.5 mil.
Let's see. How
No,
much did
no,
Koepka
8.
win?
I'm gonna say 8.
Sorry, this is 3.15
Ooh, I should have went with my first guess.
for a weekend. I mean, it's not including all the time you spend practicing.
No, but
doesn't
for a
include all
weekend,
that,
that's
but for
pretty damn
fucking
good.
4 days of work.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Ah, man,
That's cool.
we fucked up. We should have played golf from like an early age,
That would have been nice.
dude. When you can tie 15th and make 6 figures,
288,000.
what are we doing?
Yeah,
What are we doing?
but it's nuts. It's one of those sports where like they say like you have to spend so much time just to get barely any better. Like it takes so long just to get decent. you
Oh,
know?
I saw some crazy.
It's not like other
I can't remember
sports.
the actual number, but it was like saying that the chances of you breaking 80 are like astronomical.
Yeah, my buddy Perry, his dad was a club pro. I believe around Kansas City.
Much like Block.
Yeah,
Pro.
exactly. And so his Perry is really, really good. So in him and his friends and stuff, he's one of the guys that's always trying to talk me into going. And we will now that you got me in those clubs.
You got
Thank
you
you.
some beater clubs.
Yeah,
you got to
antique
start
ones,
somewhere.
man. Yeah, they're gonna work. But yeah, he's the one that's always been trying to get me in it. And I mean, he's good. I know for my buddy Casey's birthday, they all went to the Fossil one. I can't remember what it was called. We talked about it with Adam.
Oh,
And I think he golfed
fuck.
like a 79 or something like that. He's pretty decent.
Dude, I broke 90 once, and it was mind blowing. I could not believe that I
Yes.
shot like an 80. I shot like literally
Life-changing.
89.
Damn,
I was averaging like 110 before that, and I was like, I just fucking golf really good.
that's cool, man.
Hey, it's hard
let's-
to chip and putt, man. But on that note,
Cheers to Michael Block, man.
Michael Block, dude,
taking the world by storm.
You make us all feel like we can do fucking anything.
Yeah.
So cheers to you. We appreciate you. You are the daily dose of excellence this week. So Michael Block,
Congrats to you, sir.
congrats, man.
And hey, Chris, I love you, buddy.
I love you too, Chadley.
It's been a good episode.
And on that note, we love each and every one of you that has stuck around with us this long. If you are listening or watching right now, please go like, share, subscribe, and follow us. And if you haven't yet, please go like and subscribe to anything Fringe_Fanatics on any social media. But on that note, this has been episode 35 of Fringe Fanatics. We love each and every one of you. We will see you guys next week.
It's
Thank
been
you
fun.
very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Farewell.